After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port! Wow! Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine! Paimon's heard that the industry here is just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something to do! What do you think? Good idea! Nahida gave us loads of useful information. Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point. Yeah! The more we can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahida said that she has a very unique personality, whatever that means. To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
Excuse me. Can I help you too? I couldn't help but notice you standing here listening.
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but you seem to be really busy talking about some kind of play, so we didn't want to interrupt.
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Really? Like, a real trial? But the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious thing.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past now.
Pure trees? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro Archon?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance, and it'll depend on whether or not she...
Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff? Wait, didn't you say that?
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason, it's difficult to make...
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little...
First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described to have... Wait! Paimon gets now! The Hydro Archon is kinda like...
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about.
Yes, you're right.
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful about the...
Alright! I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House. But who knows how long making an appointment will take? Guess we could have a look around the city in the meantime. Hey! What are you looking over there for? Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her.
I'm fine. Thanks.
Oh, okay then. We just noticed that you seem to be worried about something.
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to myself. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just atop that hill over there.
You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you...
No people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually... And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, it's been completely submerged. He would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled with the scent of the sea. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Get what you mean.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you...
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we didn't really get what she was saying.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us! Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Seems you were right, Paimon. We are quite similar.
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is in...
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening in Fontaine now. Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't formally greeted each other yet, have we?
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of...
Oh! Alright, by the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro Archon. Would you be able to show us the way?
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. Please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
So, she's the Hydro Archon? But how did she know we were looking for her?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration! If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu. As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and her companion who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations, but I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly your sincerity. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and...
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a few minutes. But the Hydro Archon's entrance was, Miss Hydro Archon?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary?
Whoa, talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still isn't enough?
Is she waiting for us to start talking?
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina. Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not know?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina? Is there some kind of drama going on?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Farina came here to personally see her.
Ooh, I've got to see this. I knew Lady Farina...
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quick. You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid? Might I...
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire her bravery. Few have the courage to... Unfortunately, people nowadays only crave to be thrilled.
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel would...
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to...
You see. Then, as the god of justice...
Whoa, all right!
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand...
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time in the Opera House. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason to put you... According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month.
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that?
Precisely! Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name of the...
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun. I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
You tell her, Linny! Finally someone who's not crazy.
Great magician Linny, my beloved...
As a magician who just rained on your parade, So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did Linny do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic?
I thought it was pretty good. Nice one.
Huh. I'm not sure what to think. It seems Lady Farina's charges no longer hold water.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here...
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice. But when there are valid grounds, but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr.
Just like that, she's gone. Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. You never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon.
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation. Just so. Now do you see what kind of god Lady Farina is?
At times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. Is that a...
I just know a few simple tricks. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held in Fontaine?
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. To the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little... And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I...
My brother's always excited to make...
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the...
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. Oh, you really mean it? Then I'll take you... This is a magical item known as a magic pocket.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... You asked me before about the prophecy, right? I'm not sure exactly when it began, but it says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with...
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors, others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings, but here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of...
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed...
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in...
Many places have already...
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I, we hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, as a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing...
Oh! Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day! But...
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic
So you're the blonde traveler that Oh, a magic pocket? Thanks. Please.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy. Keep it. I won't have any use for it.
What? You mean you don't believe in the prophecy?
No, I believe in the prophecy. But I also believe in another story. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with it, but as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. So, if you ask me, when the water
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live underwater. They'll die.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that
I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You should still take it.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that...
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have? Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll help. Many hands make light work.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
We have to use Hydro to collect Romaritime flowers.
Freeze!
I must leave no stone unturned. care of it. Let's dance. Outrider Amber, reporting.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. I've also finished collecting it. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not...
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to the court.
So, we're going to the Court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House? Good. Kinda want...
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her? I meant to notice anything?
She's obviously a thief. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't discover what you're really doing. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh! Keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run. All right.
What's the hurry?
This is the spot where Lenny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? She started running the... What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also... Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Lenny caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you enough. I didn't notice a thing earlier. Anyway, I should be going now. Thanks again.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already gone.
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh, did you get hurt?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better already.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if...
You're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled, but at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all right in the end, though.
All right, let's put this little detour behind us.
This thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around! People in...
This is an aquabus. It allows people to travel between several It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while.
So you mean it's still boring, even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on board.
Oh, excuse me! Aren't you the great magician Linny? And his assistant Lynette?
Hello. I don't believe we've...
I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our...
It's an honor to meet you.
Wait, could that be the legendary traveler who's been making headline after headline in their journey across Tibet?
Amazing! You recognized everybody almost immediately!
I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who's who, would I? Wow, today must be my day! Who knew I would end up on the same boat as so many VIPs? Could my vision finally be showing me some favor?
So, Charlotte, what do you usually report on?
Well, when there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. That's fine and all, but what I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my talents. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first with the draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the Steambird... Oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't wait for the truth to be revealed.
So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case? You mean the culprit hasn't been found?
That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20, and ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all... But the scariest part is that to this day, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case. But shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it, waiting to be exposed.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some sort of explanation. I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Linny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
Ah, I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again soon, Charlotte. See ya!
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time.
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone. Well, where should we go now?
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have...
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge.
Come on, let's get moving. We're not wasn't in place have
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a... before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pocket.
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of material.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just...
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the opera.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry.
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romantic.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't... It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Araneus. I'll have Lynette meet you at...
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Baume. I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all. Don't worry, we're on the case.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks. I'll think of a way to make it up to you.
Oh, no need. This'll be a walk in the park for us.
What's the hurry?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are.
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made... No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, but they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and...
Whoa! So, is Linny actually loaded?
I can't say for sure, but who knows?
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here?
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology.
But where does a big machine like that get its
well... But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice.
So that's what its other function is? But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable... Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking...
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Conferee of
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month?
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe...
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrere of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora.
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay every...
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay instead...
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honest, but it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far.
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses.
I'm sure this won't take...
Riptide! You can run, but you can't hide.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them.
Strange. How could that happen? First time by...
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see its work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself, but recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring...
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, it was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing, and she was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that...
But what What did you awaken?
She never explained that. But my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But
a whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a
That's just an abstract form of a whale that It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh, so why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing... Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you.
What? More work for the Northland?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's...
Official champion duelists?
Yep. In Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. And the worst-case scenario is that, though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those...
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is apparently the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorand.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh? Your vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again.
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as... Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer. Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to see Linny's performance? Linny said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go ride the Aquabus! Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera Epiclese. What? Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon. Please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as
I guess if there are, kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine!
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Lynette!
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here, right?
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you?
I see. I might be able to tell you something that... In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hyper...
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with...
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotion. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? If you were hearing their emotions...
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Lenny might help him relax a little before he...
Oh, right. That makes sense. Let's go in and see Lenny.
What's the hurry?
Traveler in Paimon, good to see you.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world!
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment, I'll fetch the ticket. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved...
Ooh, front row seats!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a...
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. Oh, these should be our seats. conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty. Ah, you little...
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have. Wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also...
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linney, then. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself. I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my
Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be...
I saw you all chatting just now. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would... There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become... flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure...
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seat.
Yay! The show is finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparation. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected... Oh, and before I forget, you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when...
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual...
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up. You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep count. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 50...
60, 59, 58...
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52... Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality.
Oh, alright. You look so serious that Paimon thought... 40, 39, 38...
Mr. Linney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example...
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. Ah, what was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it.
25! 24! 23! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19, 18, 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? Nope, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
Mr. Linney, you're going to use magic.
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that bad? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right! How can Linny do this? He was in the box on the stage the entire time! Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances! He couldn't possibly mean catching him—
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute a—
I just think that I think it might be a little early.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? After all, he was... Then there's no problem at all. But with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better play...
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed. And, well, traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend him in this case? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linny and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big-shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
Linny!
Sorry about everything that happened just now.
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could... Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered up. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential...
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going... 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then we should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case! Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Huh?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of... Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Whoever the murderer was, why would it be him? How strange. Why would it be him? Why would it be...
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, alright?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it.
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water to...
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that Why would it be? We all heard that noise, didn't we?
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number select.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have...
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lenny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether... In other words, Lenny knew who would be sitting where from the very...
That much checks out. Lenny reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lenny.
Even though it's bad for Lenny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Lenny's magic tricks were the stuff of legends. But the way he did this crime...
Look, doing magic tricks is one thing. Pulling off a crime...
Go ahead, have a look around. In the end, we're...
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall? The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that... Wait! Why don't you write all this down? Hello there! What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently... The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to... The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievance. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous...
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other...
Okay then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, it is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Gosh, no wonder the serial disappearances never got solved. Gosh.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No?
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving, and I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle?
Well, I am the second generation president. Melus...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Nav.
Okay, if you say so. No.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, that's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. Judging from the look of things, I find...
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly... Alright, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute, did that answer...
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't... In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Maloose? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be. And if that can be done, boss, then...
Alright, that's quite enough, Maloose. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence.
Wait! Since when did we become
Hmm? Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that demoiselle, you wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the...
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then.
How can you be so sure?
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post. And I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This'll be useful info. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will...
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable.
You may spare the pleasantries.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula. Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more.
Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that the back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you... Exactly.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you... The 2 magic boxes are positioned right... See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other...
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved...
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Right! You were talking that whole time.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by... My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh,
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way...
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trip.
So that's how it all worked! Wow, every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel, and then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never... And yet... To think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug, and here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
note this down too and think about it. What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Whoever the...
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there...
Apologies for the wait,
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the...
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappeared. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how the statements from both sides, the defenses from attorney. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice...
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the chief.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? I'm on that.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to... Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place.
Huh?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point.
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts. I mean, what better way to properly think through our...
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like... Just kidding! Paimon will still do her...
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle. Baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven! From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, but you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself! Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds...
I was a plump.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only... Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need... Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only...
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Tea is ready to be served as well. There's no need for concern.
All right, then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, however, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical...
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the but the only people left to consider are both...
Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand, nor does she have any motive. The guards said that she has never had any dealings with them.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an Your macarons though, Navia.
They are my special...
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few...
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how... Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have it. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons...
All right, we get... Malus, set up the stove again if you...
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly.
As you wish, Demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almond.
Well,
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during...
All right, thanks for your help.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
All right. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation. Impossible things don't just happen.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and... Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about...
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that...
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you,
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never... Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all...
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably was...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is real.
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to... First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to this.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys.
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? In that case, my dear audience...
Well, this is awkward. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Paimon just knew where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details, and the truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me.
Sorry. Please.
Well, you both say that, but... Right, let's hear your answer first, and no...
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of...
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 7... So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the...
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you...
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud, but like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatus...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense. Huh? Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina...
That took long enough. Now, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why... Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught... So Linney proceeded to knock him out too, afterward. Lenny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowl's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Lenny experienced and what he saw. According to Lenny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had... See? See? Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed trace...
Attention! Ace detect. When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his... Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
my reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case.
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he... You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks there's some... Are you sure we don't need to give this more... That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already... The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! Ha ha! How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third person involved? Is... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Huh? That can't be...
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be... No one entered or left the opera house. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... Lenny was not in the tunnel at... It would have been tough for both people to fit... The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's... No one entered or left... The deceased's name is Cowell. No one entered or left the... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both people to fit. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Halsey's clothing was in... Lenny was not in the tunnel.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
I see how it is. So this was all just a...
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial...
If only we knew how Halsey
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that one.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The vase was not broken by chance.
escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually. If there's a similar method...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope... How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking... Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of...
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be... We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... What?
The primordials?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword... One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but...
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partner?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effect. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit... Guards, please continue examining the... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
Of course. Thank you. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial sea should... Now it seems like the hook rope was not... The rope that strung the water... The rope that strung the water tank... Lynette was in the magic box. Lynette was in the magic box. The water from the primordial sea... Lynette was in the magic box. I remember there was something else. Now it seems like the hook rope was not... I remember there was some... The rope that strung the water tank up was... I remember there was something else... I remember there was something... Lynette was in the magic box on... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant... The water from the primordial sea... I remember there was something...
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the... When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowl would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely...
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that I shall now invite him on stage to...
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people and we found an identical sample of the water.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderful. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience. Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused but upon his return, and ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward... Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us... Is this the end of the road?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble
excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in...
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth? And wouldn't such a trick be the most Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would... I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put... I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And that...
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number... He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective. Seems this... The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt... Seems... Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was...
And it's instant! Having been selected out of the blue, her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had... Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time, the two broke the flower vase during the struggle. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the cusp. that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
at this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have...
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak again? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the... With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young... To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to... He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope, and If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Liliane was not from Fontaine. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Liliane, thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Liliane, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was... From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny... While there is much in Linny and Liliane's conduct that should still... This case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette...
Great work, partner.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that...
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's... I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell everything you know.
Yes, I'll tell. Our boss discovered that the water can cause It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people... We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatu, I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth, that was how Father, who you might know as the Knave...
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowd. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just...
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for... He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just after one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was... I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was... She caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet.
Oh no. So... but wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the Knave...
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even Father, the Knave, might have seen... The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray. I was hesitant to trust her. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you...
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it.
So, she believes in that prophecy?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is current. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the Knave, has their roots in... To us orphans, the only connection we have left...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like...
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have... If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to...
Bye, Linny!
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trick.
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navi.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing in... sorry about that. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time...
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of—
You don't have to twist Pylon's arm. If Boss Nub—
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head—
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
Ad Astra. Thank you for completing to.
Cool it! Dodge this! Freeze!
Dodge this!
Leave it all to me. Huh?
Dodge this!
I'll put you on.
I must leave no stone unturned.
No excuse for slacking. You can have a load of this. Not breaking a sweat.
Dodge this!
It's not it isn't time for a break yet. Eat up! Eat up! Roasted fried!
Freeze!
Leave it all to me.
This was well done! Feels hot! Let's move.
Prepare to be blown away.
This should be fun. Have a load of this. Shouldn't get careless. No slacking off.
Dodge this!
Oxifying heat.
Fortune so.
Not breaking.
Let it
Sweat.
Windblade.
Shouldn't get careless.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Let's move. You're back into it. This should be fun.
Windblade.
No excuse.
What's the hurt?
Someone needs assist. Time to clean up.
Shouldn't get careless.
Leave it all to me.
Shouldn't get careless. Let's
Windblade.
This moment will be frozen in time. Freeze!
Is this an answer from this world?
What's the hurry? Cool it! Dodge this! Cool it! Freeze!
Windblade! Be gone!
I'll keep this close.
That was unexpected.
Another test subject. Suffocate!
Windblade!
I got careless.
There's no end to this. Have a taste of this!
Get him! No escape!
You're open!
Be gone! Windblade!
Is this an answer from this world?
Genshin.